Hey guys, this is Nishant and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we'll learn about one of the trickier checkmate patterns, that is, checkmating with two bishops. Now, um, it might not make sense, but this checkmate pattern can be very difficult and at the same time very easy. The simple answer is if we understand the basic concepts, then it becomes very easy to um, get this checkmate on the board. So, with perfect play, this checkmate can be achieved well within 20 moves. So, which means that we have a 30 move cushion before the 50 move rule comes into action, which basically says that if there's no capture or a pawn move for 50 moves, then the game is called a draw. So anyways, one advantage in this checkmate pattern is since we have the two bishops, we can checkmate black king on any corner of the board because the two bishops cover every single square on the board. Unlike checkmating with a bishop and a knight, where there are some trickier concepts involved, such as the good corner, the bad corner, formation of triangles, and so on. So compared to that, this is a really easy checkmate to learn. Before moving on, make sure to subscribe to the channel to learn more about chess openings, strategies, tactics, and so on. Okay, without any further delay, let's jump straight in. Okay, the two bishop checkmate starts with bringing our king closer to the center of the board. Now, this concept is very common in all in games, and here in this checkmate pattern also we follow the same concept. Now, bringing the king closer to the center of the board is very important because by doing so we restrict the black king's mobility and we start to oppose the black king. And with the help of the two bishops, we can slowly push this guy all over to the corner of the board. So, following this concept, our first move will be king to e3. And obviously the black king wants to stay in the central two files, that is the D and E file. Simply because if he voluntarily, if he goes to the corner, then our job is much more easier in checkmating the black king, so it makes sense to stay in the central two files. So black plays king to d5, and here we play the move bishop to d3. Now please note what this move does. First of all, it's taking away the c4 square from the black king, and also these bishops and with the king are covering a lot of squares, so we are slowly restricting the black king's mobility. Now again, the black king would like to stay in the central two files, so he plays king to e5. Now this next move is the most important move in this checkmate pattern. We play the move bishop to c3. Now you can see how these two bishops are forming this huge wall all across the board, and this is the most important formation in the two bishop checkmate. So we create this huge wall by placing the two bishops in adjacent diagonals, and then we slowly start pushing the black king towards the corner by slowly maneuvering these guys to shorter and shorter diagonals, and consequently the black king is forced into the corner. So we give a check by playing bishop to c3. Again, black plays king to d5, most logical move. Now here we play king to f4. Now the same concept applies here. We want to bring the king closer to the center of the board. As the e4 square is not available for our king, so we play the move king to f4. So a logical move. Now again king to e6, and here we play king to e4. So now we have brought the king to the central square, that is the e4 square, and from here we can either push him to any of these two corners. So black plays king to d6. We play the move bishop to d4. Now, similar to the earlier move, again this bishop is taking away the c5 square, and also the bishops with the king are taking all of these squares and again restricting the mobility of the black king. Now again black plays king to e6, no other logical move. We play bishop to c4 check. Again following the same idea, that is placing these two bishops in um, adjacent diagonals, forming this huge wall. Black plays king to d6, and I think you can guess the move here, king to f5. So again we just want to oppose the black king and slowly push him away to the corner. King to d7, king to f6, king to d6, king to f5. Okay, sorry, there was a repetition here. Sorry for that. Here we play them after king d7, play king to e5. So with king to e5, again we are restricting the black king. Again the black king has pretty much nowhere to go. I mean, if he goes to the c7 square, our job is made easier, and if he comes to the e7 square, we follow the same ideas and principles. So black plays king to e7. Now we play bishop to c5 check, king to e8, king to e6. So look at how this black king is cornered here. So he is forced into the last rank, and from here we can either push him to the a8 or h8 corner and deliver checkmate. So king to d8, bishop to b5. Now again this famous wall we are talking about. So you can see that the black king can never cross this wall, and he pretty much is forced into this smaller triangle here. So we are slowly reaching our goal. King to c7, and we play king to e7. This move actually takes away the d8 square from the black king and further forces this king to the corner. So king to c8, and we play king to d6. Now you might think, okay, we just played king to e7 blocking the d8 square, and then now you're playing king to d6. What's that about? Well, the idea is after black plays king to d8, we follow the same principle by playing bishop to b6. So again this famous diagonal we're talking about, or the famous wall, restricting the black king. So I mean, this is the same concept followed throughout this checkmating idea. King to c8, bishop to a6, and you can now see that the black king has only these two squares, and our job is like 90% done here. So we can just see how the move order is. So king to b8, and now we play the move king to c6. Black plays king to a8, and this is one of the most critical moves in the checkmate pattern. Here we play the move bishop to e3, and if you ask why we play this move, and also this is the first retreating move we have ever played in this whole checkmate, the simple reason is, in these type of checkmate patterns we want our king on b6, a light square bishop on b7, and this guy on f4, and when the king comes here we can deliver checkmate. Now the dark square bishop moves away so that it offers a square to the white king, so that the white king can occupy b6 square, and hence we can get the formation which is required. Please note that if you just move this bishop randomly over here, you just give access to the black king to the a7 square, and we kind of have to do the process all over again. So it's important to move this bishop anywhere on this diagonal, that is the g1 a7 diagonal. By doing so, we offer the b6 square to the white king, and also we restrict um, the black king to b8 and not giving him access to the a7 square. Okay, so black plays the only legal move, king to b8, and now as mentioned, we play the move king to b6. King to 8, only legal move, and now it's checkmating 2. Now I play the move bishop to b7, king to b8, and bishop to f4 check, and this will be checkmate. So a7, c7, and all other squares are covered, and this is checkmate. And once again, this bishop can move anywhere on this diagonal, no matter where. It's always checkmate. You just bring the bishop on any of these squares, and checkmate is unavoidable. Okay, so that was checkmating with two bishops. Now let's quickly recap the three most important concepts involved. The first one being bringing our king closer to the center of the board. By doing so, we start to oppose the black king, and then with the help of these two bishops, we can restrict the black king and slowly push him to the corner of the board. And it doesn't matter which corner you choose, because the two bishops cover all of the squares on the chessboard, so it doesn't really matter. And the second concept is placing these two bishops on the adjacent diagonals. And as you can see, these two bishops combined create this huge wall against this black king, and the black king can never really cross this barrier, and slowly, with the help of a king, we maneuver these bishops to smaller and smaller diagonals, and consequently we force the black king to the corner of the board. And the third most important concept, and probably the most trickiest, because if we mess up this one, it can easily be a stalemate. So the third most important move is, after we have reached this position, it's important to note that we bring this dark square bishop, or we retreat this dark square bishop along the same diagonal. By doing so, we offer the square to the white king, which is really important. So we can achieve this formation with the light square bishop on b7, the king on b8, and this bishop can come around and deliver checkmate. And also, it's important to note that retreating the dark square bishop on the G1 and A7 diagonal is very important, and not retreating it on any other diagonal. If we do so, we offer the A7 square to the black king, and we kind of have to repeat the process again. So yeah, that was checkmating with two bishops. Hope you all enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel for more, and thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you soon.